So today we are going to make a Japanese bound book with the simple 4-hole stitch. So I have a front cover, the inside sheets and a back cover. As you can see, these covers have a direction on, so you need to make sure that the direction is facing the same way front and back, which they are. So I will collate the covers and the paper so that everything is lined up nicely on this left edge, and then clamp them together. You could use paper clips for this or any form of clip. I'm putting the clamps fairly close to the right hand side so they won't get in the way, because I'm going to be working on this part. So first thing to do is to draw a 2 centimetre line. So I'm going to mark that top and bottom, or near the bottom because the clip's in the way. And then draw a line. I'm then going to mark 2.5 centimetres from the top, 2.5 centimetres from the bottom, and that gives me a gap of 9 centimetres in the middle. So I'm going to divide that into 3 sections. So I'll mark at 3 and then 6, which gives me 3 equal size sections there and the 4 holes I need. So next I will punch the holes. So I've got this to protect my cutting mat, because if you punch directly onto a cutting mat, it won't heal. So with the awl, I'm just going to push down. You can twist it if you want, but you shouldn't need to. Just pushing down should be okay. Check the holes have gone through to the other side, which they have, but I'm just going to make them a little bit bigger. I'll just make it a bit easier when it comes to sew. So I'm going to use this fairly horrible pink thread just because you'll be able to see what I'm doing more clearly. So you only need 4 times the book length, but I will add a bit extra on because we don't want to run out. Okay, before I start sewing, I will rub out the pencil marks. You shouldn't see them because you'll be putting thread over them, but just in case. So the thread goes in between the back cover and the first and the first hole. So we haven't included the back cover, and then pull the thread so that you can see it still, and you want to keep it this side of that where that line was. It will just make it far easier to find that thread to tie the knot at the end. Okay, so first stitch is to go over the top and then back in through the same hole. So each time I do a stitch, I'm going to pull it tight. As you can see, because that thread's still loose, it'll start to pull that. Then around the end of the book and back in the same hole. Then along to the next hole, over the edge of the book and back through the same hole. As you can see, we've got a gap here. That gap's fine because that's what we're going to come back via as we finish the sewing. So we're going to go straight along to the next hole and over the edge of the book. Along to the last hole, around the edge of the book. When you go back in the same hole, it's a good idea, if you can, not to catch the thread, because it means it's much more difficult to tighten up. So we've done all 4 of those. So now we're going to go up to the end and back through the same hole. And you should be able to see now that the gaps that there were left are what we're going to fill in now. So there's 1 on the back here, then 1 on the front there, and then 1 on the back there. So we'll go back along there. Can I find that hole? And then into that one. At this point you can take away the clips, and then for the last hole we are just going through the back cover. So here it's a case of putting the needle through and then checking that it's going to come through without going into those pages, which is very easy to do, and put it. So pull everything tight, and then here you can tie a reef knot. Do it properly, so it's left over right, right over left, and I just do an extra one, so 3. Cut the threads, and there is the finished basic 4-hole stitch.